Hi, I'm Damien. Today I want to share some ideas about a particular IELTS speaking card. Today's card is describe a person you know who likes to talk a lot. You should address the following points. Number one, who this person is. Number two, how you know this person. Number three, what he or she usually talks about. And finally, explain how you feel about him or her. So as usual, let's think of a few ideas. Number one could be somebody like a chatty colleague. Maybe you've got a colleague from work who you met at the office maybe a few years ago, and they often talk about office gossip, weekend plans, and maybe the latest news. You'd find them to be sometimes a little bit distracting, but their lively nature adds a positive vibe to the workplace. Idea number two could be something like a neighbour. Maybe you have a friendly neighbour who lives next door and you'd be acquainted after moving into the neighbourhood. They often will talk about local events, maybe giving you gardening tips and giving you stories about their past. Their conversations can be incredibly insightful, although sometimes it's hard to get a word in edgeways. Idea number three could be a family member, maybe one of your aunts or uncles. Obviously, you'd know the person through the family connection since your childhood, and they might often talk about our family history, recipes they like cooking, or maybe even fond memories from their past. And of course, their stories would often be entertaining, but they do tend to dominate conversation during family gatherings. So there we go, we have a few ideas. Now it's time for a sample answer with a good range of grammar and vocab. As usual, I've decided to talk about a neighbour. There is a neighbour who lives just next door to me, and she's someone who truly loves to talk. I got to know her shortly after moving into the neighbourhood a few years ago. Her name is Mrs. Thompson, and she's an elderly lady with a heart of gold, always ready to lend a helping hand or to offer advice. Mrs. Thompson has a remarkable ability to strike up a conversation about almost anything. She often talks about local events, offering insightful tips on gardening, which is her passion, and sharing fascinating stories from her past. These stories range from tales of her youth to anecdotes about the changes she's seen in our neighbourhood over the decades. Whenever I bump into her, I find myself spending much longer than I intended listening to her stories. While it's true that sometimes it can be difficult to get a word in edgeways, I genuinely enjoy our chats. They're a breath of fresh air in an otherwise busy day, and I always walk away having learned something new or feeling a bit more connected to the community. Her warmth and enthusiasm are truly contagious, and even though she can talk for England, I wouldn't have it any other way. I feel extremely lucky to have such a neighbour who not only shares her deep knowledge of local life, but also brightens up the street with her lively personality. Thank you. So again, there we go. We've got a 2-minute speech that includes a decent range of grammar and vocab that should allow for a high bounce score. The grammar and vocabulary will be included in the transcript of the video. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more IELTS videos, or please visit my website PassIELTSPlus.com to book a one-to-one lesson. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.